7-second lag. Almost 10. So like none of this is going to be on air. Watch, this time it will be, and I'll look like a moron again. All right, so welcome to the Nefty Show. We're actually on Twitter. I don't know if you guys knew this. In fact, I'm pretty sure none of you guys do know this. So if you go to @Nefty Show on the Twitter machine, or like the X, is anyone calling it X now? Like I've seen a couple people just kind of give in and start calling it X. I have a hard time doing that. I don't know. That could just be a personal feeling. So welcome to Thursday. Is it Thursday or Friday? It's Thursday. Are you having to check what day it is?
It's Thursday.
Okay,
it's Thursday, man.
Oh man, you know it's starting to like really pick up on the whole bull market thing when like I had a show last night. I was up late, freaking I was gonna sleep in today. Everything's gonna be fine. You know, I was like checking in on Telegram and Discord and stuff. You know, I used to just, you know, 6-7 months ago, you know, a year ago, it was really hard for me to do that. I just still felt really awful about all the things, and now I can't wait because there's just so many cool things going on.
It's
absolutely exciting stuff. It's exciting stuff. So hold on, let me see if we're on the Twitter thing here, so I can.
Yeah, I just checked it, and you can even retweet it.
Awesome sauce. All right, so here's what we'll do. Gonna do a little thing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give away some LIFTIUM DGen packs to anybody who retweets our little show today.
Oh, cool.
Or well, I think I'll give away 3 out of however many people do that, just because they're coming from my personal account, and I don't have an infinite amount of LIFTIUM. Some things happened with LIFTIUM. I don't know if you noticed that. One, been planning some stuff for a while, but it's
yeah. I saw the chart this morning, and it was crazy.
It's pretty good. And like, just to kind of give a bit of an overview of, you know, I think why that's happening. I mean, number one, I've been buying up LIFTIUM the whole bear market. You know, every time I have some spare tip money or whatever, I'll just pick some up. I was probably like the main, you know, little nibble buyer the whole time. And then, you know, finally I was like, okay, I think I have some good ideas about where we can take this thing. So I just bought 1,000 wax worth. And that's my first candle was, I'd love to say it was all me, but it wasn't. I know at least 2 other people that were like, what are you doing, you weirdo? And they just instantly bought some more. So that's fun. So basic plan, and obviously it's having a little bit of an impact, and I think we're just getting started. So basic plan is we've got all these miners. There's like 30 different NFTs that are mining, old partner projects, old miners, all this crazy stuff, right? As well as the 1 million, 10 million, and 100 million uplifting NFTs have also been miners, but at a very, very low rate. I basically, we had like an informal DAO vote. So, okay, I'm going to take control of this stuff for at least the next 6 months just to kind of get the ball rolling again, because we're on the floor. We're zeroed out. Like nobody's doing anything. This is very boring, right? So what we did, and it actually went live yesterday, finally, is we shaved 10% off of all of the kind of static miners that were out there. So not very much. They're still mining more or less, you know, about what they were before. Never mind that uplifting price has 10x. Not that was part of the plan. It was. But now that all, sorry, go ahead.
No, you just have to stop saying it like that. You should call it market making. It's called market making.
That's what I meant to say. Market.
That's
what I meant to say. Yeah, that what he said. Hey, so we got 29 people watching us right now. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out on the Nefty Show. Lots to talk about. There's so much DGen crap going on. It's not even funny. So welcome. Please fire off a comment. Let us know you're here. And, you know, while you're at it, post your wax address on there. We should start doing giveaways one. I think it's time. So I'll give something to somebody. We'll figure out what it is later on. So, yeah, just to finish the whole, you know, uplifting story. So I didn't want to increase the amount that's getting distributed every week, which is about 270 million. I definitely didn't want to increase that, right? So we shaved off 10% of the kind of vast majority of NFTs, and I added all that savings onto the 1 million, the 10 million, and the 100 million uplift fee. So they almost 10x'd the amount that they're mining, and I still think it's not enough. Like it's not enough by basically a zero, to where I think it's going to be. Those things are going to end up being very, very, very valuable, and it's like an instantaneous. Okay, if you get any LIFTIUM, the obvious thing to do is send, at $1 million a time, you send it to tokenized NFT, the wax address, and they send you back 1 million LIFTIUM NFTs. Those are instantaneously miners. You can blend those up to 10 million. You can blend those up to 100 million. And it's like an instantaneous locking mechanism for your uplifting, right? So it's kind of a sort of informal, long-term staking kind of thing, but we did it with NFTs, and we already had this mining system figured out. So, it's a thing just to get things moving. That can't be the be-all, end-all, right? That's not how this is going to work.
Yeah, and what I like about that is that it's a very creative way of doing it. It's a very creative way of introducing some DeFi to your token without having to code anything. You just use NFTs, blends, and whatever it's available there. So I think that's pretty cool.
I agree, and I think like the blending up to 10 and 100. I think are going to remain normal. What I was thinking about doing is basically setting it up so that when you blend down, you drop 10%. Or when you drop, I think when you drop down from the 100 to the 10, I could actually make it like 3%, because we can actually give change, right? A bunch of 10s and some 1s. But when you're coming down from 10 to 1s, the only thing I can do is drop 1 million uplifting, right? So then suddenly we're deflationary. Right, you can move as much as you want, but it's gonna be it's gonna burn a bunch, because every time those things don't exist, it literally just burns uplifting out of the ecosystem. Right, but right now we're not doing that. I just want everybody to have fun and start kicking things off and making things good. Obviously, if you go look at the LIFTIUM chart, we're starting to make some noise, which is really fun. We've got a massive pool with KEK right now. We actually set that pool. Well, Baco, what's up? We set that pool up before it went bananas. So I think there's still 1.3 trillion. KEK in there, which is like a significant percentage of support.
You know Wapaka?
I know of them. I don't know.
Wapaka is the creator of Wax on Edge.
Shut up.
Yeah,
dude. I think Wapaka. I was talking to them on Discord. They were telling me about this bot that they have that I haven't checked out yet, but. Dude, that's if that's not you, let me know, because I could just be on drugs. I've been talking to too many people in the last little bit. That's incredible. Wax on Edge is the shit. Like, holy crap! I understand enough about how Wax on Edge works to think that Wapaka must be an absolute freaking card carrying genius with genius pants on. It's so good, and I don't know if that exists on other DeFi. Since I'm on Wax, there you go. I don't know if that's what other DeFi platforms are like, but it's amazing to have that technology here.
No, that's how a lot of tools work on other chains. Yeah. But what he created is the first one on a Wax, and I think it's an amazing product. I always love that product. It's
I go there every day now. Like it's like absolutely essential. I still love Alcor. The farms there, being able to do that is amazing. I love the Taco.
It's not a competing platform. It's not a competing platform. What I love is that it's something that integrates and make use of other products. So it's amazing. I love it.
It's the shit for sure. It's funny. Like just coming back into the swing of things. Juan actually mentioned Wax on Edge. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I went there. Like, it's just like those God rays and the choirs start singing. Like this is exactly what Wax has needed for a long time. It's pretty good. A huge LIFTIUM KEK pool. There's so much more. We're going to need to talk about KEK because it's completely bananas. Like tons of partner collabs going on. And I feel like we lived 3 days yesterday. And the charts look at the same way. And I like all this like WUF is looks like it's breaking out. I don't know if that's still the case, but it was yesterday.
WUF is also going bananas. Everything is these are crazy times. And
it really is.
If you look at the macro, Bitcoin is still trading now in the lower range. let's hope it starts pumping a little bit before maybe a bigger correction with the halving. I think the halving is, if not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, something like that.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, these are crazy times.
It is. And this is the thing, like we could see a correction on Bitcoin sort of in the short term. And honestly, around now, like I don't expect the bull market to be right around the halving. It comes later, right? Like this is when it starts, not when it finishes.
Well,
I know
you know
there's theories
what
that
is
are good.
what is very strange about this bull market and about this cycle is that we had an all-time high before the
Right?
halving, and
That's
I think
weird.
that makes me suspicious. I don't want to be as optimistic as everybody is,
No, and
because
honestly, I love you for this because if I have any failings, and I have a lot of failings, one of them is being overly optimistic.
Yeah, no,
That's legit.
and you know, things can still go crazy and whatever,
They can.
but let's be prepared for alternative scenarios.
Yeah, no, that's red teaming your own shit is super smart. Okay, so I guess now that we're kind of talking about the macro thing, and we're going to talk about KEK and all those other things because again, holy shit. But did you see the article about? I mean, I shared the thing about like Goldman Sachs says like Bitcoin's probably a sell right now. Like cool, I'm buying. It's like screw those guys. And who knows? Maybe they're right this time, but they've never been right.
You know, I think Bitcoin, it's every time taken more and more seriously. Now, yeah, we had the ETFs at the start of this year. Now, even the IRS in the US is considering Bitcoin pricing in their projections for how much they will collect on taxes
Really?
in the upcoming years. Yes, Bitcoin,
That's
and
crazy.
they even have some price predictions for the upcoming years. So it's really crazy. I think it's really becoming an extremely serious asset, and I don't know what to think of that. But
I think the rules might break. I still think the halving is going to be a big deal because if you're the more demand that goes up, and I think the one thing I wanted to touch on was apparently the Chinese have given the go ahead for an ETF over there. That's a whole other ball of monkeys. So like there's this, and again, like just read this as overly optimistic, and this definitely won't happen, and I'm a moron, right? Like the whole caveat, like don't take advice from me. No, seriously, don't take advice from me. But all that to say, if I saw this one article that basically plays out this theory that like, what if the Americans and the Chinese start competing to get a hold of more Bitcoin to fill their ETFs? Then like the price cycle is still very relevant, but it could go utterly bananas. Like not KEK bananas, but bananas.
Yeah.
Dude, like I was talking to KEK official this morning. We got a really fun conversation. He said honestly, like, and again, like we're not sort of like endorsing that project because like many things can go wrong at all times. I don't know who this guy is. Right. So
it's just a fun project. Come on. We're not endorsing anybody 100%. Here. We're just having fun with the project.
Right. If you're not having fun with it, don't do it. Right. But I'm learning a lot actually chatting with him about kind of what his plan is and if if it ends up going the way that he's saying that it will go, it could be very interesting. Like I have a decent little bag of it. I'm not giving it up. I think it's gonna be really interesting. Right. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, like he's fucking like he sat down before looking at the chart. I was talking to him this morning. Like he hasn't looked at it yet. He's like, hey, should I sit down? Yes, and probably like do some breathing exercises. But it's fun. And again, like the market cap is $6,000, right? Like this is not like a giant market cap thing or whatever. But it means that like there's enough energy in this little thing that if a bunch of degens get together and start really kind of pushing the meme of it all and having a blast with it. Crazier things have happened to weirder people. Like that's who knows, right? We'll see what happens. Really, Wuffy, I think, is this catalyst for the whole meme token era on Wax. We keep talking about it, but we keep seeing it, right? Like that. The Shipple thing is still number 9. Which
you know what I don't understand with Wuffy is how is it that there are more claims on Solana than on Wax? Come on.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. My theory is, the 15,000, 16,000, whatever it is now on Wax, is probably a good number of, like a good gauge on the number of active wallets on Wax right now, right? Which is like freaking nothing, right? Compared to where it used to be, that literally might be where we're at right now. right? And on Solana, obviously, Solana has got a little bit more activity and like 50 trillion times the market cap. Don't quote me on that number. That number.
No,
it's a different story, right?
But it's true. I think Solana right now is the third token or coin for market cap.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's check that.
So one thing Ken was telling me is that if you
cryptocurrencies,
add up the market cap of,
no, I think it's the fourth. It's the fourth. Well, if we don't count Tether, of course, we
don't
without
count
counting stablecoins, it's the fourth after BNB. So yeah,
wow.
and I'm pretty sure that they will be bigger than BNB shortly.
It seems that way, right? So the one thing Ken told me is that if you add up all the market cap of the meme tokens that are on Solana, it's bigger than the market cap of Solana.
Yeah,
right? Like just hold that in your brain, and basically, like once people inevitably start to selling those things, it has to go to Sol. So the price of Sol is probably going to go up, right? Which I think is relatively smart. But I mean, getting back to your point, like there's 46,000 people that claimed on Sol for WUFI, right? And 15 to 16, whatever it is, like a third basically that claimed on Wax. And I heard through the grapevine that like they're not messing around with the bridge. They're trying to make sure that it's audited and tested properly and well done and safe, right? But I figured maybe they might get the bridge like 6 months from now. They could just hold this off for a long time. But apparently it might not be that long.
Let me stop you there. I was reading in one chat, I don't even remember which of the Wax chats I'm a part of, something on Telegram. I was reading that the bridge will be released ideally next week.
See, that's
I don't know if it's 100% sure. I don't know if it's rumors or whatever, but I just read that today. And it was a comment from someone that has some insights there. So it might be released next week.
That is crazy. Okay, so just to kind of contemplate that, let's maybe game this out because I don't know what the right answer is, right? But like, see, you have the bridge on there, what direction do you think it'll go? I guess is maybe the question, right? Do you think that those thanks TC, those Sol people will follow that bridge over to Wax to pick up low caps? Because that's probably what I would do, right? Like it's like, or like
I think no.
Okay, how come?
And why I think no, and I was having a conversation earlier today with Waxpaca, and we were just talking about this. And I think that the problem with Wax is that there's not enough liquidity and you don't have market makers. And we still don't have a trading environment that is prepared for that. And I think that it will change. It will change in the upcoming months and it will take time, but it should change. And that's why I think that those degens will not come and trade on Wax because it's too difficult. You can trade on Solana it's a much better Solana. It's a much better environment to trade meme coins.
Well, I mean, they can slosh around $100,000 US at a time, and over here that would smash anything like that, even WUFI, right?
Yeah.
Wapaka, of course, working on lending, borrowing. That's a whole other.
Yes, and that's also a must. And I also think that on Wax we are still missing a good Oracle network, a reliable Oracle network. That's something we don't have. There are many things that are needed on Wax to have the proper infrastructure for DeFi and trading more actively.
Wow. Okay. So can you say more about the needing an Oracle for people that don't necessarily understand what that is?
Well, basically, what happens is that that when you're trading with a market, you need a reliable source that gives you the price of a token. And for that, you need oracles because you need to go outside. You need to get outside of the blockchain, check what is this token trading for in multiple exchanges, multiple places, and then give the platform a realistic and trustworthy price. So that's something we don't have on Wax. Alcor is has some kind of oracles. I don't know exactly how it works, but they have something in place. But I think that we need something more reliable and universal, something that anybody can use, that any other project can integrate and make use of that Oracle network.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for that. So it seems to me that like Wax on Edge is kind of that with the capacity to aggregate, no? Or is this like kind of more for the spot trading kind of thing?
Well, Wax on Edge, what Wax on Edge is doing is that they are only checking the prices in the pools, in the liquidity pools, and that's how it works. But for example, let's say that you wanted, imagine that we wanted to have leverage trading on Wax, 5x, 50x. In Solana, you can go 100x on some platforms for some tokens, 50x, stuff like that. Yeah, but for that you need the oracles. In order to be able to trade perpetual contracts, you need oracles. So we are still very early on Wax. We don't have that infrastructure. So I think that if people from Solana comes, maybe NFTs will be more attractive for them. But NFTs, we are not providing a lot of.
So I wonder what the percentage of people, and TC, I'm going to get to your point because I think arbitrage is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a big factor. It's not going to be a zero factor, that's for sure. So like, what if you were, a guy like me who maybe has like a couple $1,000 in the markets, and you bought some bonk just recently, right? Like with the market caps, there's a lot of people that just got in, right? So they probably don't have a gazillion dollars, and like anybody that thinks that bonk has got 100x from here is smoking the crack. Now that said, again, don't take advice from me. Maybe it happens. Weird things have occurred.
Yeah,
this year.
It's something you can't predict with certainty. But
100%. But
if you ask me,
the growth has already happened, right? So that's not like a situation like KEK that's literally like in their first millisecond of their first inning. And you can sort of have a realistic, if whatever, like a non-zero probability of this thing going even more bananas, right? Like the growth hasn't happened yet, and that to me, that's the most exciting thing about Wax to me, right? Yes, we need all this infrastructure, and yes, we need to grow. But if I'm somebody sort of my size on Solana, and there has to be a decent number of them, I'm looking at Wax going like, wait a minute, there's all these little projects that you can actually get in on the ground floor. As opposed to trying to do that on Sol. Now, granted, like, I'm sure they're starting a lot of new products on Sol all the time, so like that theory might be ridiculous.
Yes.
So TC said, what if WUF is cheaper on Wax? Do you think they would come in to Wax to buy then transfer to Sol? I mean, that makes sense to me, right? If I'm not mistaken, there's
absolutely
less,
that makes
right?
sense, and the way to do it is first off, you could be doing it right now. You don't even have to wait until the bridge opens to start arbitraging. There are arbitrage strategies that work without that bridge, and that you could be using, because you only need to have USDT on both sides and buy WUF on Solana, and buy and sell WUF on Solana and Wax, and benefit from that price difference. That's something you can achieve, and then you can balance your USDT accounts on both sides. There are strategies that allow you to do that.
You think the fees on that would be the only, the fees on that aren't going to be zero, right? Especially like if you're changing USDT on Wax to USDT on Sol.
Yeah, but what Wapaka is saying, it's that your Wax could be stuck on the Wax side. Yes, that's true, unless you have the bridge. And what happens is that right now, WUF was already listed on some centralized exchanges, but as far as I have seen, you can only transfer from Solana and not from Wax.
Wait. To the MEXC, right? Because we were, I think,
MEXC, but there's MEXC, and I think there's also Gate.io. But yeah.
All right, cool beans. So the issue there are no opportunity where Wax is at a higher price than Solana to be able to send your WUF back to Solana. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. So, but there are things you might be able to do over there.
Right. Well, smarter people than me think about arbitrage all the time. I definitely am not in that category. But yeah, so and Wapaka, thank you so much. For anybody that doesn't know, Wapaka is the absolute monster genius that made Wax on Edge. Juan just told me that. We got a bunch more people watching since then. And also, like, welcome to the Nefty Show. We started this a couple weeks ago. So far, we're a huge fan. It's really fun. Being here for the beginning of the token, so the meme token era on Wax is pretty fun. And then, the NFT integration with a lot of these projects. I was talking to KEK about, the little idea that we definitely are not for sure launching soon. And we're kind of thinking from the jump, right? We've got such an amazing amount of tools that can link with the token, whether it's token-backed NFTs or being able to convert token into NFTs in the same way that we did with LIFTIUM and LIFTIUM, right? And leveraging all the amazing stuff on Nefty blocks to accomplish some of the same things that they accomplished with the big meme tokens over on Sol. And again, it all kind of redounds to community and community events and all that kind of stuff. And it's the kind of shit that Juan and I love anyway, right? So like that's the main fun part. But really being able to connect it with NFTs and with the new updatable NFT thing that you guys have that can kind of track scores. Juan, could you maybe talk about that generally, just so in case people want to start messing with it?
Well, the upgradable NFTs, what they allow you is to change the attributes of an NFT after it was minted. So, for example, to give you an example, if you want to track you have an NFT that represents a character in a game. And it has, for example, I don't know, 2 attributes, strength and health. And both of those are numeric attributes. So with the mutable NFT, with this NFT, with these upgradable NFTs, you could go and perform some actions that will modify the health score or the strength score of this NFT. And if you planned it correctly since the beginning, you can even do something where you define your image as a mutable attribute. And for example, if your health reaches a certain level, you should be able to change your image and
so like it'll swap the IPFS on it.
Yes, it will swap the IPFS on it, because if your image is a mutable attribute, you can switch it for another.
So yeah, we should totally have different levels on our definitely not for sure happening thing, because it's one of the things that I was saying. So again, we're talking about having this NFT you're going to need to, again, hypothetically get an airdrop of this hypothetical not yet announced thing that may or may not be happening. So you have this NFT, and it's going to basically track your score, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you have NFTs from this project? Cool, you're going to get that score. Like after we do whatever snapshot we do, if you take part in this community event, it's going to increase the score. So
in that case, you don't even have to take a snapshot, because think about this: the upgrade contract, it's kind of like a blend. And in a blend, you can define, well, with some NFTs, you can say, I want to destroy them, or you can just say, send them to this wallet. So you could go to the upgrade contract and say, okay, if you have these 3 NFTs and you burn them, then I will increase your score. Or if you, that kind of things can be done with them.
We should definitely do that again, hypothetically. I'm gonna have to stop winking at some point. I love that idea, just because I like, even for the uplift as an example, there's so many NFTs that we could clean up and have burned, and like that'll be really fun. And it'll be good. I think there's a lot of projects that are kind of in the same boat, right? Like where they've got a lot of stuff that they can do to get rid of. I do at some point though, like I want to target especially projects that people kind of whaled into that are very quiet and haven't done anything. Like I want to be able to target those projects even for people that may or may not be like really, really plugged in. But we'll talk about that later. But the main thing is, right? So this is, and tell me if I understand this correctly. So I am working on this thing. I'm getting the points up, and let's say it like changes image at some point, so like it's an even cooler one, right? Could I then sell that NFT on the open market for somebody who wanted to get the airdrop to that?
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Huh.
You can list that NFT, and And you know, I always think as that as trading before the token is released.
Right. Well, right, because like, you know, as that NFT holder, I have no idea how much token I'm getting. I have no idea what the price is going to be. Right, like there's like everything is a total unknown. But if I'm
Yeah.
just like, I just threw like why I just built this thing up, you know, I could sort of get, like nobody in the right mind would sell it. But I mean, maybe
Well,
they
it
would.
can
I don't know.
happen.
Like,
And you know, I think that having that, it's even a good thing, because if the NFTs start trading, you
yeah.
already have an indication of what will be the value, what will be the worth of that
Oh,
token.
that's weird.
And then
Sort of
when you
like a
create,
preview.
yeah, and then when you
Huh.
create your liquidity pool, your liquidity pool for AMM,
Yeah.
then you already know how to balance it according to how the NFT was traded. You will know this is the proper, these are the right proportions on each side, because this is what people are willing to pay
I
for the
had
token
not considered
based
that
on
at
the
all.
NFT price.
Huh. So anyway, we've been obviously brainstorming this a little bit. I actually told KEK official, you know, the basics of our plan, and I think verbatim was, not gonna lie, this idea is good. I'm like, yeah, I thought so too. Yeah, it's gonna be fun anyway. And honestly, I think,
Yes.
you know, KEK is the first small one. WUFI obviously is real big and doing really well, and I think they'll continue to do well. You know, at SHIL, you know, again, I'm super biased. I did launch that project as a joke like 18 million years ago. I haven't run it for a long time. My good friend Bull Shipples is running it and running it like a goddamn genius, frankly. He's doing some amazing things with community and liquidity across, you know, all sorts of different pools and stuff. Still number 9. Like that's like, to me, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. It's ahead of like projects that are massive. So anyway, like that, it just, I think this is the start. Like we could have, you know, 10 legitimate meme token projects on Wax inside of the next 90 days. You know, I think those things interacting and reinforcing each other, which I think is entirely possible, could just, you know, increase the amount of sloshable volume that's, you know, running around on Wax on Ninja's system.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, why not? Again, crazier things have happened to weirder people. Yeah, I just, maybe it's because I like underdogs. I like being at the start. Like it really, you know, it comes down to, you know, can we as a community figure out fun and engaging ways to increase attention so much that, you know, we just get the kind of flood that other, you know, communities have gotten. It's possible. You know, breaks no laws of physics. So that's fun. What else? I think we touched on all the tokens. I go check out the charts. And now, granted, like I think SHIL is kind of flat right now, but that's, I think, his intention. His intention is really just to increase the deployed liquidity all over the place. He's got a very interesting plan on that. But like KEK, I mean, that chart doesn't even look real. Look, I've never personally seen anything like it. It's really fun. You know, LIFTIUM's doing really well. And again, like the changing in the mining rates on LIFTIUM is the first thing, right? We've shifted it by 10% and added all those savings to the 1 million, 10 million, 100 million of LIFTIUM NFTs. I'm going to do that a bunch of times. So, you know, if you want to get it in front of that, we'll do some market making. Is that what I'm supposed to say right now?
Yeah, please.
Nailed it. But like I've got plans for tons of blends for, you know, if anybody's been in the Uplift ecosystem for a really long time, right? You're sitting on lots of land, a lot of NFTs that are still kind of at the basement bear market stuff. We're going to be planning blends and frankly airdrops to, you know, a lot of that stuff just to try and, you know, pump some gas into the ecosystem or whatever. But one thing I'm really excited for is the one-sided staking for LIFTIUM NFTs, right? It's going to be limited amount, but you'll be able to do a blend that you can blend out of in 6 months. And it'll just gain you some more LIFTIUM and some more prizes and stuff. So like it's sort of meant to mimic the kind of staking you could do with Bonk, right? If you stake, you know, well, the thing where the god of the idea, like you stake, you know, $1,000 worth of Bonk and you get on the airdrop for WUFI over on Solana, right? So I did that. Was like nothing compared to what I got on Wax, but yeah, I just wanted to see what that experience was like, and I bought way too much Bonk to make it happen. But that, I think, is one of the secrets to their success. $1.3 billion market cap on Bonk. It's nuts, right? So once these staking NFTs are out there for the uplift, guess what I'm going to be targeting for airdrops? Right there, all the time. Because I think that one-sided staking thing is going to be really important. And to bring it back, KEK is doing something similar. In the sense they're going to have a vault, right?
Was there a KEK airdrop?
No,
right?
No. But KEK is going to do. They've got that 5% transaction fee, right? 2% burn, 3% going to rewards, or the other way around. I can't remember.
I think it's 3% burn, 2% going to rewards for the staking pool, but the staking pool does not exist yet.
Yeah. So, and that pool is going to be, it's going to be a vault. It's going to be one-sided, right? I stake my KEK.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have a share in the rewards from the transaction fees, which I honestly super freaking sexy as far as I'm concerned. The amount of token is constantly going down. Part of that is going into fees that are going to stakers. So everybody has a really good interest in having a pile and not selling that pile. That's fascinating to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've got it. I'm not getting rid of it. Because if they do any volume, it could be a revenue generating situation as long as the number of wallets keep going up and the ecosystem keeps getting bigger, like all that stuff. Right? I think it requires that infusion of energy, but it's a really interesting situation that I think has been at the core of the success of these meme tokens. And I'd love for somebody to tell me I'm wrong and that it was something else, because I'm new. But it seems like that's a huge part of what they've done. And then, and this is what I was telling KEK. I have to mention this. I bought less than a wax. That would be one wax of KEK at the end of March and got 130 wax by selling this morning. That's the moment to say I should have bought more. Well, here's the thing. I personally believe, and again, just like counter trade me, you might do really well. This could be the beginning for KEK, right? So
now I know who's the creator of that red candle that we saw this morning.
They sold one wax. Oh, that's so funny.
Waxpaca is the owner of that red candle.
Dude, that's funny. And again, always take profit is never, ever, ever a bad idea. Like that's
taking profit is never bad.
100%.
Never a mistake.
Especially if you're up 130x.
Yeah.
That's some fun stuff. So yeah, I was telling KEK, like one of the things that we want to do for any partner project that we have, Wapaka, on this, again, definitely for sure, maybe not happening thing that Juan and I are sort of kicking around. We want to have events where we'll partner with KEK, and for every amount that you have staked in the vault above a certain amount, we're going to give you airdrop points that will get applied permanently to your airdrop NFT. And he was pretty stoked about that idea. Why wouldn't he be, right? Because those are the kind of things that I love working with you on for a lot of reasons, but like the fact that we connected so much on, and you drove it to us, right? Like, in one of our episodes a few days ago, we were kind of brainstorming if you were going to start a meme token, like how would you do that? Like, what would you want to do? Yeah. And I keep coming up with these pragmatic ideas, and one's like, yeah, hold on. What's your why? There's going to be a quadrillion of these things out there. What's the effing point, right? And so we brainstormed about that quite a bit. And we just kind of came down to, we really love helping other communities succeed. Like, it's a huge, we would do that for free, right? So, and it plays so perfectly into, if we can run all these community events, obviously the token's going to do better. We're going to be getting attention for it, blah, 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 fine, right? But, it gives that a sort of power and attention to that moment where we can increase the amount of KEK that's staked universally, because there's like a fun reason to do it, Yeah. I'm really excited about that. And obviously I'm ranting. The coffee is really good. Dude, shut up. DC's gonna. That's insane. Oh, 17 trillion. I think I have like 4 trillion. I'm pretty excited about it. That is bananas. Okay, so in this, I'm actually I have a meeting with the KEK official later on today. That's one of the things I'm very curious about, because he basically started a one-sided DEX, I think, right? So you basically just put KEK on one side and like a wax on the other side. I don't even know how that works, right? And then just kind of let it run. If somebody can come on the show and explain to me how that works more, or TC, if you want to just DM me some of that. Like, it seems like that was the thing, right? So you really could get in and sort of get an absolutely stupid amount for not very much. Like 17 trillion is insane. Well, getting one wax and getting 130 wax worth, like that's also insane. So it's that part's really fascinating. Obviously, I don't think we're going to do it that way because I think we want to get to a lot of people a lot quicker. But I can see, other projects doing that so that the early adopters can have a ton, and then people like TC can be like, "Hey, Corey, you might want to check this thing out." I'm like, "What?" And then, I spent a little bit of wax on trying to pick it up, and now it's crazy. And I know I wasn't the only one, but I think Dapper was really early on too. It's crazy. It's crazy, and I like it. Again, only if you're having fun. I think taking this stuff too seriously is going to damage your health.
Yeah, absolutely. Just having fun.
Yeah,
that's 100%. What matters.
Okay, so we got one wax editor. We got 100 people watching this right now. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us on the Nifty Show. If there's any project you want us to talk to have them on the show, we got lots of room for guests right now. We're doing this weekdays at 11 a.m. We would love to interview anybody in the wax ecosystem, anybody who's on Nifty or thinking about doing anything on Nifty. Anybody who's in the Solana ecosystem. Anyway,
come on, and let's not be that exclusive. If you're dropping on another marketplace on Wax, you're also welcome. You don't have to be exclusively using Nifty blocks. You're welcome anyway here. 100%. So if you have a project on Wax and you want to talk about it, you want to explain it to the community, you're feel free to join us whenever you want. You can DM Corey, you can DM me, you can go to Nifty Blocks' Discord, or however you prefer, DM us on Twitter, whatever.
Yes, what you said. Sorry, I'm just taking a screenshot. This is the first time we've ever had 100 people watching this show.
Wow.
So that's kind of fun. So thanks, guys. Yeah, get some wax addresses in the comments. I'm going to give out... let's say the first 10 people to put their wax addresses on, or like at least 10. If people put in more, I'll maybe just take it randomly. I'll give them an Upliftium degen pack that has at least 1 million Upliftium in it, and maybe 10, or maybe another one. I can't remember how I did that.
Oh, what's the Nifty Discord link? That's a good question. I don't really know.
Let's find that out.
But let me find that out. Yes.
We can just make a new invite one for it right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, let me get that going.
Invite people. Oh, invites are disabled. That's sad. I guess you're going to have to be the one to do that. Fair enough.
But I think I have to paste it here in the private chat, and maybe you can share it in the
public chat. 100%. I absolutely can.
Yep.
So, for everybody here, like what... so I've seen TC was telling me about Donk. I think he sent me some DONK. He doesn't know anything about it, but apparently he bought some. I should probably go buy some before talking about any of this. So that's one. I'm wondering if there's anything else on anybody's radar. Well, and have you heard of? I think it's PJX. The pixel thing, I think it's like number 3 or number 4 right now on the listings for tokens on Wax. I'd love to have them on. We're sort of chatting with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have no clue what they're doing, but it's clearly something awesome. So I'm excited to get them on and talk to them about it. Yeah, he has no idea what it is. That's fun. But yeah, there's just tons of stuff going on for sure. It'll be interesting to sort of see who's in the top, 20 to 50, 3 months from now. That's for sure. Because I think it's probably going to start changing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's getting nuts. And Wapaga, anytime you want to come on, we'll get a red carpet.
Absolutely,
we'll bow down to your amazingness. Because again, Wax on Edge is it instantaneously went to a place I couldn't do without. It's just so good.
Yeah, that's one of the tools that I would really be pissed off if it disappears. I really want to see that tool there forever because I use it on a daily basis.
So how do we make sure that happens? I guess Wapaka, if you ever need anything, just let us know. If we can help, we will.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, man. So again, as a joke, it's kind of a joke now. Our intention was to make these episodes 15 to 20 minutes long. So far, I think we've done that 0 times.
Yeah, indeed.
It hasn't happened. But there's too much to talk about. We're having too much fun. So stay tuned till tomorrow. Again, hit us up. We want to have guests every day if we can. Obviously, there's enough going on that we can have fun conversations without it. If you see something on the radar, let us know. If you can retweet us on Twitter at the Nifty Show, that'd be fantastic. We're gonna start doing some giveaways. If you're a project and wants to do any giveaways through the show, let us know. We can organize that too.
For sure. Yes.
And yeah, like here we go. I guess it's gonna get.
Yeah. Also, if you have any giveaways running on Pang, the tool, Corey, for the giveaways and the tracking Twitter.
Bounty Block.
Bounty Block. If you're running something on Bounty Block, let us know. We will also share it here. And,
we'll share it from the Nifty Show too, like from that from that Twitter. And also, like, I want to see more of those. I want to do more of those. I'm trying to organize one now where I drop a whole bunch of uplifting on the landowners at the uplift. But I'm new, so I'm figuring that out still. It'll be weird. Either way, it's gonna be fun. One of the other things, just to put in your head, KEK is talking about doing some crazy shit where he locks liquidity. So basically, and he might do this with SHIL. I still have to talk to both SHILs about it. So you basically take like a big chunk of SHIL, big chunk of KEK, and you create liquidity on a DUT account, and then destroy that account, basically kill the keys on that account. So it's effectively liquidity that's locked forever. And that supply is gone effectively from both projects. And like that sounds real fun. Like that's really interesting, right?
Yeah, so I think that's more a feature that we should have on well, not we. I think the guys who have liquidity pools on WAX should add that feature, like being able to lock your liquidity for a certain period of time or forever.
Yeah, that's fun. I would probably, especially like as a project runner, that would be a goal, right? Because if you had some kind of arc where you had some token coming back into the project, or you had the ability to do some token buybacks, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and then be able to transfer that into liquidity that was permanent. That's real sexy to me. That'd be really cool. Like if I knew a project that I was messing around with, had some kind of mechanism to be, pulling some revenue in, and was turning that into liquidity that never went away. That's very interesting to me.
Yeah, I think that there are projects like that on Ethereum. I think Curve has a token that you lock, and it will give you rewards. It will pay some yield, but you can never get your tokens out of the pool. But what you can do with that is that you get to vote in their DAO with the liquidity you provided, and you're like perpetually voting, and you get very high yield reward there. So that's interesting.
Cool. Yeah, lots to think about. So TC's asking, what about doing something with the uplift shards blends? So to the best of my knowledge, most of the blends currently available for the uplift and on upliftium.hi, which is where upliftium, the sort of those NFTs live, require shards. I think there's one that I made that doesn't require shards recently, but generally speaking, I want to include like at least one shard in all of them. If anyone has any ideas on how to do those, again, I am hyper focused on creating value, as in burning LIFTIUM or finding use cases for LIFTIUM, and also figuring out ways to benefit landholders, even if it's just blends to let them move into upliftium and then maybe move into other worlds, which there's been like a little bit of demand for. Let me know, because I'm gonna start making blends all the goddamn time, because it's really fun, and me as a non-dev can do it, and we can start to create some movement, which is kind of been the biggest priority, right? Bias for movement. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to launch today.
Yes.
Cool beans.
One question, Corey. Do we have someone for Monday?
What's that?
Do we have a guest for Monday? Not yet?
I don't believe that we do.
Okay, then we will have Vulnerability Agent is asking me if we have a space on Monday the 20th. But not this Monday. Sorry, Monday the 29th. So we for sure have space.
All right, cool beans. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeehaw. Rock and roll. Yay. And seriously, hit us up. We want to get, you know, booked up so that we're talking about a different project on Wax or Solana. Or really, honestly, if somebody from Base has a meme coin and they're like, oh, let me come on your show, we're gonna be like, no, get over here really fast, right? Because I don't know anything about Base. I literally don't know anything about it. I had somebody on Facebook.
Doesn't matter if you have someone from Base, he can come. Base is amazing.
100%.
Base is an amazing network.
Yeah, dude. So that, yes, please. That'll be fun. What about doing a raffle with them? TC, can you DM me about that? I don't know anything about raffles. It would be fun. I was thinking about like just having the ability to like sell like a fun thing for like I saw. Well, it's actually Juan's fault. I saw somebody was selling like a cute little NFT for like 50 cents worth of WUF, and they like straight up burned 30% of what they brought in. So like 30% of that WUF gets destroyed. 30%, I think, went to some of the holders of it, like I think the top 10 or like some specific numbers or something like that. And then they kept the rest. And that to me was like very, very interesting. So if we did that with LIFTIUM and we burned 30% of it, we gave away 30% of it, however we want to do that, and then had another 30% just sitting there, that'd be interesting. But if we did it for WUFI, then I could do LIFTIUM buybacks. Anyway, there's lots of things we could do, and I'm open to all. So that you can give me some ideas. We'll pick one of them and we'll run with it like today. Whatever we can do to create some depth in the ecosystem. Again, if we're including LIFTIUM in the blends, I'm going to be way more interested. And obviously, if there's some way that we can benefit the landholders or give them whatever they want to do with their land NFTs, we'll do that. One thing I gotta say, we're never going to burn land NFTs because I don't want, like, eventually there's going to be a lot more people in game again. I don't know when that is, but it's going to happen, right? So I don't want those land NFTs to be burned and then have that land be like straight up fallow and nobody can buy it, right? So those blends will actually just send those uplift NFTs back to the land NFTs, back to the pool, and then we can figure out what we want to do with them later on, even if it's just like making more blends for other people that want to go back into it or whatever. So we'll figure that out. All right. So anything else? Going once. All right. Seriously, guys, 106 people watching us right now. Like that's, I'm really grateful, man. It's really cool. Juan, I love doing this with you. I think Wax is in for a very interesting, year for the rest of this year.
Absolutely.
So that'll be fun. And yeah, we'll have lots more guests on before too long. Again, if you can, find just at Nefty Show on Twitter. If you can go in and give us some love over there, that'd be fantastic. And by all means, if you're talking to any founders or project runners, just get them in touch with us. We'll have them on. We'll get the conversation going. All right. Could lend a plot for LIFTIUM? I don't even know what that means. But let's talk about it. Right. Well, I guess like if you want it, so you get lending kind of has that time thing to it. I don't really know what that would be like. Anyway, let's talk about it off air because I'm just gonna be brainstorming weird shit. But yeah, it's going in that direction. Rock and roll. All right, guys, we're out.
Cool.